Great. Well, good morning and welcome everybody. I'm so pleased to see the great turnout that we've gotten today for this very fascinating session. I want to thank you for joining us on behalf of the College of Arts and Sciences Undergraduate Studies Office for the 5th annual Gamecock Teaching Days. And this year we've been pleased to showcase our McCausland Innovation Grant winners and faculty who are participating in our theme semester on play. Today, we are welcoming Naomi Falk, who is an associate professor in the School of Visual Art and Design. She has been participating in this year's theme semester, and she is here to talk with us about how she is using AI to help her students explore its use in her studio art courses. And this is such a hot topic right now. We're really excited to hear about the work you're doing, Naomi. So thank you for being with us today. And we'll save questions to the end. And so I'll turn it over to Naomi, and then we'll have some question and answer after the session. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. So welcome to my little session about indigo AI creatures. And so part of the play theme semester, I was generously supported by SVAD visiting artist funding, as well as the Dean's theme semester funding to bring in visiting artist Gasali Adeyemo for a full week-long indigo workshop. And so this is just the preliminary setup for my project. So I'll just talk about it for a second. So he was here for an entire week, and he showed students how to do a bunch of indigo dyeing in a variety of methods. So there was tie dyeing, there was traditional adire cassava paste, and some other types. And so there's just a small handful of the students that participated, and we came up with a bunch of different types of fabric. And then we used that fabric for this project. So their mission was to create at least one AI image, use at least one AI image generator to assist in designing a hybrid stuffed animal, puppet, or soft sculpture creature. And the suggested themes were to look at endangered or extinct species or future species we don't yet know about. And one of the things that we quickly found, and you'll see some of the funny examples that both I and the students came up with, but adjectives help when you're using DALL-E or any of the AI image generators. So this was one of my first attempts. I entered this phrase. So I asked for 12 stuffed animals that are part horse and part octopus, have 8 legs, tentacles, a mane and tail, have suckers for feet, and all 12 animals are different. So this is what it gave me. And then another one that I tried was Bread and Puppet Theater Puppets, which is a particular puppet theater company in New Hampshire, or in Vermont, but it clearly didn't reference those. But made of fabric with interchangeable arms, legs, nose, eyes, hair, and hats. So we got lots of creatures that looked like baguettes, which I find pretty funny. And so, like I said a second ago, a better example from collaborative, we talked about this because the students had similar issues. Often what was happening, we would get like a mashup, like I would say, combine a horse and a octopus, and it would just put them like next to each other. So one of the students, I think, cracked the code, and she said, I tried lots of adjectives, so we did it as a class, and this is what everybody threw out as I was writing down words. So funky, psychedelic, big horned, squishy, round, furry, purple, soft, absurd, doughy, waxy, foxy, lavish, bejeweled, polka dotted creature in a realistic style. Because you can also ask the AI image generators for a particular style, watercolor, all sorts of things, whatever you can think of. So this is what it came up with. So this was much better outcome than some of the ones that I and some of the other students had come up with before this. And then, so I'll show you some student work now. And so this is one version. I don't have great finished photos of this student's work, but it had a lot of similarities to this. So giraffe mixed with frog doll made of cotton and indigo dyed fabric with kind of this hole in the middle, which I thought was very fun. And so the student decided to, she's not finished yet, but decided to make her own patchwork fabric. So she chose a bunch of different kinds of fabric, made, pieced them all together, kind of quilt top style, and then started sewing with those. Another student came up with this stuffed animal of turtle mixed with a butterfly made from indigo dyed fabric. And you can see, again, it's sort of like, it's not an amazing mashup. It pretty much looks like a turtle. Maybe what you can start to see some wings, but then it also just kind of looks like regular turtle fins. And then this student tried several different ways, a plushy raccoon, shark fangs, and shark fins. So you get the fangs in there from the shark. And then this one, this starts, the top left one starts to have more combinations with the shark and the raccoon ears. And then several of the students decided to take those iterations from the AI collab and then kind of recombobulate them once again in their own sketches. So these are some of Erin's sketches. And then this is their first, their final piece. And this is also the first time that most of them are sewing, and I showed them both machine sewing and hand sewing. And you can see it's all their indigo fabric. Another example of playing with AI, which I thought this was delightful fun, is Magic Sketchpad. And with this one, you can choose from the drop-down menu over here a variety of different animals and objects. And so what you're seeing on the screen right now are mermaids and flamingos. So I would start sketching some little doodle, and then as soon as I stopped and lifted my hand off of the trackpad, then the AI would finish it. And so it was also quite fun when I would say, like, start drawing, I don't know, a mermaid or something, but then say it was a flamingo. And so you can play around with these really fun little mashups, combinations that way by kind of, you know, inputting the what might be the wrong information. But some of these are so delightful, like the one on the far left, this over here is a flamingo, which I don't know, but I also really think that this was left it very open for the students to figure out how to make these little doodles into a three-dimensional form. And because there's lots of open space there as far as like how to build this in the world. And so here's another set of images of birds. Fun little doodles. And then this one, Zoe Cobb made the Magic Sketchpad say it was an ant, but then started to draw cat ears here. And then this was her funky little creature that she put on, and it even has cat hair all over it. So I think she might have stuffed it with some cat hair. And then this one was octopus, flower, crab, snail, duck, bee, pig, butterfly. And then the piece that Grayson ended up making had a lot of relationships to kind of a flower shape, but she was really looking to combine like this butterfly, crabby creature, as well as, and it looks different on the other side too. But I also really appreciate her attention to using the patterning of the indigo dyed fabric that she did during the workshop. And then Janessa made these with the two on the left with I think it was with Dolly. And then the image on the right there is a sketch that she came up with herself, combining some of the things that she found in the collab. And then this is her finished piece here. And she did the whole entire thing hand sewing. And you can see she used some of the kind of heavy white yarn or embroidery floss to sew all of these things, because she wanted it to look very handmade. So all of that was much on purpose. And it gives it a little bit of an edginess to it. It's also quite heavy because the center head part here is actually a giant ball of yarn. And then the rest is filled with beans to make it kind of a bean bag. So, and it's quite big. It's probably about this big here. So when you hold it, it very much has the weight of like a little doll baby, and has that big, kind of crying mouth and things. I don't know. I think it was, and the little pants even have like little pockets in them. It was very nice. I thought it was an excellent version. And then Fred Sawyer combined stuffed animal, soft starfish with multiple different heads at the end of arms, blue indigo tie-dye is what he typed in. And then he ended up kind of modifying that. So having the indigo tie-dye piece be right in the center as a giant eye, and then creating this sort of almond shaped pincher hand eye piece at the end. And again, using all of the indigo dyed fabric. And then we also tried out crayon because it didn't have the same limit of images with Dolly. You could only use for free up to 50 iterations. And then with crayon, you didn't have, it was just free, you didn't have, but it was ad supported. But it also doesn't have the sophistication of Dolly. So we were kind of messing around with a couple of different things and trying to give us really strange creatures, and it was a struggle. But so here are a couple of Sophia's. The one that I find the most interesting out of this group is the red one in the babies on a bike, because it looks like a strange little creature starting to appear. And then she modified some of that into a drawing of her own. And then this is her final version of this cute little kind of segmented bug inchworm with legs and big eyes. And this was partially machine sewn and partially hand sewn with indigo fabric. So thank you. That was a handful of the fun that we had this semester. And there's my information there. And I have been slow to post things on the USC sculpture site, but I will update that with more good things soon.